Secondly, the CCP recently passed a very important law called Rural Collective Economic Organizations Law of the People's Republic of China. It has 8 chapters and nearly 10,000 words and was passed by the National People's Congress on June 28, 2024. It will come into effect on May 1st, 2025. As its name suggests, this law is, of course, about the implementation of connective economy in the rural areas and how to organize and manage all the farmers participating in the connective economy in the rural areas. There are many people who say that by passing this law now, the CCP is going back to the old path of the People's Commune of Mao Zedong's time, when land was owned by the state or collectively, and all the people worked together in the fields in exchange for the so-called work credits, which in turn were exchanged for food and sometimes cash. And one time, everyone even went to the communal cafeteria to eat together, not being able to cook or eat in their own homes in order to enjoy the so-called communist life. Of course, the result of this, as we all know, was that in the 1950s and early 1960s, the CCP starved nearly 40 million people to death. So, is Xi Jinping now going back to Mao's old ways by introducing the collective economy? I think the answer is yes and no at the same time. I've carefully studied the provisions of this Rural Connective Economic Organization law, and I find it very scary. For example, in Chapter 2, Membership, Article 11, it states, quote, residents who have the household registrations in or have had their household registrations in a rural collective economic organization and have formed a stable relationship of rights and obligations with the rural collective economic organization and whose basic livelihood is guaranteed by the collectively owned land and other properties of the rural collective economic organization members are considered members of the rural collective economic organization, unquote. This is to say that all people born in the countryside are, in fact, under the jurisdiction of this law. The Article 4 in Chapter 1, General Provisions, states, quote, rural collective economic organizations shall adhere to the leadership of the Communist Party of China and perform their duties in accordance with the law under the leadership of the Township Party committees, Street Party committees, and village party organizations, unquote. This means, in the name of this law, all those born in rural areas are officially and legally under the leadership of the Communist Party now. Therefore, this law may contain elements that could revert the household contract responsibility system implemented after the reform and opening up to the commune system. However, its primary purpose lies in strengthening comprehensive control over rural areas and the countryside. This comprehensive control is precisely the prerequisite for implementing a wartime economy. With this legal framework in place, once the CCP declares a state of war, this law could immediately come into play, responding to the need for severe control of all social resources in wartime.